Hi everyone, and welcome to this tutorial of version 0.7 of Grid Singularities D3A. This version we released right before our hackathon, which was in July 16th and 18th. And in this release we added some features that enabled us to run the hackathon and have teams apply for devices and trade on behalf of those devices while the simulation was running, and also to have DSO users apply to devices and then change the grid fees or the transformer specs in those devices. So those were the main two features we added. A third feature we added was a detailed energy profile graph, which I'll show you on the results page. So to give the overview, we'll start here with this collaboration, and I'm in the admin hack account. So this is basically an exchange operator account. And so in this simulation, we have two communities. Community A has 23 houses, and each of these have an uploaded profile, and then community B is the same. So what we're going to show is that as I start running this simulation, I can go ahead and run it. And then while the simulation is running, I'll be able to open up some of these areas so that the DSO could change the grid fees or change the transformer capacity or energy peak percentage in these specific areas. So let's see, our simulation is running. So then what I will do as the exchange operator is I have to open the API to the grid and zip code areas for the DSO. So I just click here, and it actually it registers as an event in the timeline, so that's also cool to see it happening live. And then in the registry and scoreboard, I click Go Public. Then what I did is I logged out as the exchange operator and I logged back in as the DSO. So as the DSO, I would go to the simulation and then I would apply to be able to change the parameters in these areas. So I'm clicking Apply here. And then I will log out as the DSO and then log back in as the exchange operator. So now I've logged back in as the exchange operator. I need to approve the DSO for these areas. And then finally, I can log out and log back in as the DSO to start changing the grid fees in the area. So now I am the DSO. It shows that I'm registered for the grid zip code community A area. And then I can go to the modeling page, and inside the grid area, I can set grid fees. So now you can see that I can actually change the grid fees here. Whereas, for example, house 1, as the DSO, I cannot set any grid fees. So I only have control over the areas that I'm registered to. So to experiment here, let's make these grid fees lower. So I'll change to 2. And then at the community level, I'll make the grid fees higher. So this would be interesting. This would actually disincentivize local trading. And then I can go to the results page and basically see what the impact is of changing the grid fees. And I think in this video, in order to really see the impact, we need to run a base case where the grid fees are stable, and then another case where they're changing. So we'll have results related to that as we publish the results of the hackathon. But when I click on the event here, it takes me to the grid, or it takes me to the Community A area, and I can go ahead and look at what the energy profile was for that area and see if I turn the peak analysis on, then the peak is calculated for the total energy traded, and from there I can see, you know, if there are any differences related to the grid fees. So that is the role of the DSO that we added. So next I'm going to log back in as the exchange operator. So now I'm logged back in as the exchange operator, and we want to experiment a viral rollout. So we added a feature where I can add additional houses to my simulation while it's running live, and then open the APIs so that a user can start trading on behalf of those houses. So let's add a third community here. And then I'll add 1 or 2 houses and open the API so that they can be applied to. And then inside the house, I'll add a load and a PV. Great, so now my load 25 and PV 25 are open. So next, I will log out and log back in as a regular user and see if I can apply to these devices. So now I've logged in under my Sarah account, which is a normal user, and I'll go check out this collaboration. So I can see everything that's happening in the grid, and I can see that the API is open here. And then I can see if I can apply in the registry. So let's find Community C, and there we go. I can apply for load 25 and PV 25. Now I'll log back out, and I need to log back in as the exchange operator so I can accept the application. Now I'm logged in as the exchange operator, and then let's accept the Sarah at Grid Singularity user for these devices. Oops, that's an error there. But it looks like it worked, and then now I'm logged back in as the Sarah at Grid Singularity user, and let's go see if I'm registered. Great, so now I'm registered. So now what I can do is I can connect my API template script, which houses the aggregator, to trade on behalf of these devices. And we'll show that in another tutorial video. But basically, what I would do is type in load 25 and PV 25 in my script that's running in my terminal. And then I would be able to send my bids and offers directly to these devices. And I would see the results related to that on the results page. And like I said, we'll do another tutorial video that shows you exactly how that process works. So for now, I'm connected, but I'm trading based on the template strategies, not on my own smart strategy. And that was another huge feature that we added in this release, which is the aggregator. And as I mentioned, we're going to make an entire video going in depth on how the aggregator works and how you can use it to trade on behalf of devices once you've been registered and approved, like I just showed here. And again, we can see the devices are marked on the timeline where they're added. So the last thing I'll show is an additional graph that we added. And this graph does not appear by default, so it is a graph that is listed in our visible charts. So, for example, all the graphs show by default except for the energy availability graph and this new graph called the detailed energy trade profile. So I'll click here to so that this graph will appear on the results page. And the purpose of this detailed energy trade profile is, maybe I'm looking at the trade profile inside my community A market, and I can see what's happening in each 15-minute time increment. But maybe inside this 15 minutes, I want to know exactly at what time the trades were scheduled. So let's pick an interesting slot. Here's 9:15 on March 8th. So then what I will do in the Community A market slot in the energy trade profile is then I will go to March 8th and I will pick 9:15. And let's see, this is actually a small bug here where the bar is black, so we have to fix the color difference there. So maybe if I pick a different bar, it won't be such a problem. But basically what it shows is that between 9:15 and 9:30, I had trades that were matched at 9:24, 9:26, 9:28, and the last one, 9:29. So we talk about it in another video, but we can see through the bid, offers, and trades graph exactly how the bids and offers were. So I guess out of curiosity, let's go to 9:40. It was 9:30, I think. So we'll go to 9:15 to 9:30. Yep. And so this is the same market slot. So in this graph, we can actually see all the offers that are decreasing their offer price in this market slot and all of the bids. And then we can see where the trades happened. So we have this one at 9:24, this one 9:26, 9:28, and I think this is 9:29. So we actually see the trades here, and in this tooltip, we can see exactly who traded with who. And this same information is what's shown on this graph. It's just shown in a bar format. So we can see all the times where the trades happened, and then we can see exactly who traded with who according to the colors and the profiles. So maybe let's look. I think if we look inside the house level, then it might be a little bit easier to see. And my graph is showing. So let's see, this is inside house 1. So if we pick this time period, 8 o'clock. Yeah, then we don't have this bug with the colors here. So we can see, so these bars are basically stacked on top of each other to make this bar at 8 o'clock. But here we can see how the trades actually happened during different minutes of the market slot. And then we can see who traded with who. So the PV sold to the load, it also sold to the storage, and then the storage purchased energy from the external trades. And then we can verify this on the bids, offers, and trades graph. Great, so that is a quick summary of our new features for version 0.7. We'll be releasing version 0.8 around the end of August, and for that version we are adding our maps feature, so that should be really exciting. And in the meantime, we'll be publishing many updates regarding the hackathon, what happened, what results did we see, and how do we see ourselves moving forward after that. So thanks a lot, stay tuned, and as always, reach out to us on Slack if you have any questions or feedback. Thank you.